Baby, gather round, it's time for some fun. Zach and Jake gonna talk sports one by one. They'll bring the heat and make you laugh out loud with stories and segments that'll make you proud. Bury the lead, they'll keep you on your toes, uncovering storylines that nobody knows. From the football field to the basketball court, they'll analyze it all, no topic they'll report. So let's get rowdy, let's get loud. Tune in now, join the crowd. The FlurrySports Podcast, here to stay, talking sports in a unique way. Hey!
Another banger from the AI, dare I
Wow.
say. What a good song. It's Simple Plan's in here. Or maybe not Simple Plan. Maybe it's like, I don't even know. It sounds like some pop punk early 2000s shit.
Oh, I mean, I thought at one point, if I could find it now, it was very Yellow Card. Yeah.
It is Yellow Card. You're right. We need a fiddle in there.
Yeah, that's right. Or
Yeah.
someone a little raspier.
True.
A little to talk to me during the verse. Yeah, yeah.
We also need to pronounce the word lead correctly. Spoiler alert. Listen to the whole song on YouTube, by the way. That's how you vote for the best song intro for the entire season 8, the FlurrySports YouTube channel. I got to type in the lyrics a little bit to help it out for the later part of the song. So I figured out a way to spell lead where it would pronounce lead. But
That's why it was spelled that way. Okay.
well, no, that's the correct way to spell it. Lede. That's the correct way. Doesn't pronounce it correctly that way. Doesn't pronounce lead as lead. So I had to go, I think, Leed.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. I had to workshop it. But
Jared
we figured
Lead.
it out. Yeah, I added a bridge in there. There's
nice.
it's a great song. Great song. So go listen to that. Listen to all your favorites, like your favorites, because the ones with the most views and likes at the end of the season will win. We got the big band jazz one. We got this pop punk one. We got some gospel singing. We got some country singing. There's some good ones. There's some good ones, I gotta say. Happy about it.
I've liked them all so far. I've found it interesting which ones people are gravitating into, but as long as we're plugging the YouTube, I mean, if you are just listening to this, I am dressed like your local weatherman today.
Yes.
So please join in. I know, straight out of a staff banquet. So I'm here ready to talk about Caitlin Clark.
You look, by the way, you look like someone ready to talk about Caitlin Clark. If anyone's good at video editing, maybe crop Jake out and put him in front of different scenes like he's the journalist on the scene.
That's right.
That'd be a good one. That'd be a good thing. Nothing damning, only fun stuff. That'd be good.
Yeah, please. Only put me in places that we have allegiances with.
Yes.
Friendly countries.
Don't put him next to Hitler during one of his big speeches, even though could be funny. Make sure it's a black and white picture so it's pretty known, but pretty good. Interesting show today, I think. Different show today. We've been playing games all season long, and it's been a mentally taxing week, let's just say. Plus the NFL draft is coming up. Y'all are preparing for that, obviously. You're stressing over who your team's going to pick. And then, I mean, on top of that, we've been giving you guys some very long episodes, dare I say. So today it might be a little bit shorter. We're just going to be playing 2 games. I brought a game. Jake brought a game. As always, $10 up for grabs, and maybe some negotiating back and forth, as seemingly there always is. But before we jump into my game, Jake, how you doing? Anything you got to say while I get this set up here?
The only thing, no, I got nothing. I thought I had something. Let's do it, dude. Let's get in here.
Okay. I mean, you bought me enough time to get it set up, so that's all I was really hoping for. You shot me down, but I did have enough time. So thank you.
Anytime.
Yeah.
That's what you need me for, right? A little bit distraction. Sometimes the hamster is just so goddamn tired. You can't run around that wheel all day.
Fair enough. I'm sorry to ask you. It's too much of you this early into the show. I gotta get you going first.
Oh, I will say, here's a stall. Ready for this? At this banquet.
I don't need a stall anymore, but continue.
No, I got it. My staff, don't worry. You needed a stall for my stall. My staff were like, we got you a cameo. And honestly, this is one of the nicest things people have ever done for me. But I was like, I'm a gross baseball fan. Because it came out and there was a Twins logo in the background. I'm like, oh my God, they got a Twins. So I'm like, is it Joe Mauer? Like, who did they get? They got now retired Twins play-by-play announcer Dick Bremer.
Wow.
To do a cameo. I cried. I was like, they had to Google that, they had to go through. But I was like, it was one of those moments where it was so sweet. And then the room was like, who is that? And I'm like, put some respect in your mouth for Dick Bremer. Also,
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, he's great. But also so funny because it's like, he's like the level of like, he's in it, right? Like he covered it every day. It'd be like if you got a Packers cameo and it's like Wade Larrabee. Like it's like he cares way too much. Dick Bremer about halfway through this cameo where he's like, your staff love you. So great. And thanks for being a Twins fan. He goes off the rails. He's like, good. People think they're not going to be that good this year. They have a pretty good
okay. Yeah.
And he's like, and that's what you need to make it deep in this league. And I'm like, this is actually awesome. It's so good. And no one else understands that. He was like, and we'll win a World Series just like we did. And I was like, here it comes, baby. 87-91. He's like, at 87-91. And I'm like, yep, that's gross. That's awesome.
I mean, when it happens, you got a soundbite for the playing catch-up pod.
That's true. That's true. So, yeah, there you go. But that is our stall. Now, Zach, I think I'm in the hot seat, correct?
You are. You are in the hot seat for this first game. I'm not sure if you've heard about this. It's making news all around here. Caitlin Clark drafted first overall to the Indiana Fever. Great news. Surprising news. No one knew that could happen. Great. Her contract was released, Jake. And I'm not sure if people, I mean, it's just like every sport. The contract, the dollar amount's locked in. So when it was announced, people were surprised, probably shouldn't have been. But Caitlin Clark, her salary for the first year for the Indiana Fever is going to be just north of $76,000. And people are outraged. Yeah. Super outraged. 4 years, $338,000. Still not good, right? For the amount of money Caitlin Clark's bringing into the league, the fact that she's making that little, not very good. And I understand for the people wanting to comment, wanting to shout at me, I understand their sponsorship money. Okay. I understand she's not poor. I understand she's playing a game. Yeah. But for what she's bringing the league, she's grossly underpaid, obviously. So let's play a game about it. Jake, I have some things lined up for you. You have to tell me, can Caitlin Clark afford that with her first year salary, that $76,500 salary? Are you prepared? Are you ready for this?
I am ready as someone who makes scarily close to that amount of money.
Not having to shoot.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. But could I guard her for a minute? No.
Yeah, I don't think so. But I think you could score on it.
That's crazy. I can't believe I said a minute. I don't think I could guard her for 3 seconds.
No. Could you guard anybody for a minute? A minute's a long time.
It's awesome. Why would I say that? She could do a lap in a minute.
Yeah. Could you stop her from scoring 20 in a minute? Still probably not, but that's close.
I don't know if I could stop her from moving in a minute.
Yeah. I mean, again, you're setting the bar very high, but whatever.
Crazy call by me. But I love Price is Right, and I'm here to play.
So there's 9. So I think you got to get 6 or more correct to be a winner here.
Yeah.
Or more than, I'll say more than 6. You got to get above 66%. Okay?
Okay. That I can do.
First one. Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift's coming to Indianapolis in November. How much, or can Caitlin Clark afford 2 front row tickets to that Taylor Swift show in Lucas Oil? Prices courtesy of SeatGeek, no longer a sponsor. Used to be a sponsor back in the heyday of the FlurrySports Podcast, but they can't keep up. So can Caitlin Clark, without our former promo code, afford 2 front row tickets for her and apparently Fran McCaffrey's son, who is her boyfriend? Didn't know that. Bad taste in men, apparently. Can she afford that, Jake?
1, shout out SeatGeek. Come home, baby boy. But 2, so for the game, you're asking me, is this price less than like her annual budget, right?
Correct. Can she afford 2 tickets to see Taylor Swift?
Gotcha. Okay. Because again, someone will be like, well, she's worth more than that, but on that salary, I'm with you. That's a no. I feel like you're starting me easy. I think that's a pretty obvious no.
Jake, she can afford it. She's not going to have much money left, but she can afford it. These tickets, Jake, are only $24,700 a piece. So
Wow.
combined about $45,000 or $49,000. A lot of money, but she can afford it. She cannot afford rent afterwards.
No.
But she can afford that.
Okay. Well, all in the hole. How many do I have to get $10?
Okay, now we'll say 6 or more. 6 or more correct, then you get the $10. Okay.
I'm in. Okay.
Next one, Jake. There's 2 pictures, so you can ask me to show you both pictures however many times you want if you believe that will help you. Okay.
Okay.
3 acres of land in Indianapolis. It is unrenovated. It is out in the boondocks there. You can see here, there is sort of a bridge, sort of a rundown bridge there. So there's some landscape. You could do some stuff with it. Can she afford 3 acres of land in Indianapolis?
Oh, okay. For those of you not watching, it definitely looks like behind every library I've ever seen.
True.
Land's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 acres. So are we talking more than 25 an acre? God, I feel like I'm going to say she can. I feel like she can afford 3 acres.
You're saying can or cannot?
She can.
Jake, she cannot afford. Look at this land.
God.
This costs you about $90,000, $89,900. Like you said, land's expensive. Land don't go down in price. That's all I know.
It's true. Even land that looks like that is the result of an oil spill. I mean, that's pretty gross land, dude.
Yeah, not great land, but it was listed on Trulia.
Jesus. Okay.
Indianapolis, prime real estate.
Yeah.
Parks in town.
It's true. Yeah. They're hiking it up in case she wants it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you're 0-2, but this next one will be easy for you, Jake. So
Okay.
Caitlin Clark, I would argue she is the biggest star to come to Indianapolis since Peyton Manning. You know, there's Andrew Luck in there. I would say she's a bigger marketable star than Andrew Luck.
Tyler
just given their personalities. Tyrese Halliburton. I mean, people. He's not very exciting either. I like him, but I think she's a bigger star than him.
Fair.
No offense, Tyrese. So following in the footsteps of Peyton Manning, could she franchise a Papa John's? One store. Lowest end store. I took the lowest end price.
Oh. I'm trying to think of the average income and feel like they want people to be able to do it. Maybe I'm off on this, but I feel like that's a yes. I feel like yes.
It has to have everything into it. So there's a franchising fee. You have to have enough money on hand. There's a lot of things here. So can she franchise a Papa John's?
If that's yes and you talk me out of it, fuck you. I'm going to say no, she can't.
She cannot. I think there's a chance she could afford like the lowest possible franchising fee, but you have to have $250,000 liquid. She does not.
Correct. I appreciate the clarification because it makes a huge difference to know that like it needed to come stocked. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So she cannot follow in the footsteps of Peyton Manning. She can't be a Jonathan Taylor of sorts owning pizza chains. Can't do that, unfortunately. She can, however, go to see Taylor Swift so far. So you're 1-2. And Jake, Caitlin Clark likes to have fun.
Okay.
I would say. What's the most fun you could have? No need to answer. I have it for you. Getting a pontoon. Now, this is no ordinary pontoon here. As you can see here, this
must go.
This is a 2023 StarCraft SLS3. You're like, oh no, that's very expensive. I will say all boats must go. Blowout sale. He may have stolen these and is selling this on Craigslist because, as you can see, this is a real Craigslist ad I found in Indianapolis. So nearby. Can Caitlin Clark afford this 2023 pontoon?
Going off of the must go piece and having multiple boats to get rid of, I feel like this pontoon at its peak, my guess would be is more than this, but like I don't feel like it would be outrageously more than this. But am I a boat guy? No. So, but I'm gonna think she could afford this must go boat.
Jake, you are absolutely correct.
Nice.
I completely agree with you. Before the sale, I'm not sure if she could afford this. Could she afford this and go to see Taylor Swift? Absolutely not, because this will cost you $59,495. But great year for a pontoon, as we know, and the memories you would make. She could bring almost her full team on that thing. Probably, it'd be great. It'd be fantastic.
Imagine having multiple boats that you had to sell.
I'm telling you, all boats must go means he stole a lot of boats.
Or he hates them.
Or he hates them. Maybe.
All boats must go.
All of them. I hate them. Get rid of them. Okay, next, Jake.
2-2.
2-2. And we are on to Cybertruck. There's 3 different kinds of Cybertrucks. There's the rear wheel drive, the all-wheel drive, which is what we're talking about, and then there's one other one. So we're talking about the mid tier 1 delivery in 2025, alleged, who knows. We got a 4.1 second 0 to 60 miles per hour, 112 top speed, 600 horsepower, 11,000 pounds of towing capacity. You could tow that pontoon for sure, but could Caitlin Clark afford it?
So my reference point here is I feel like Tesla's at their peak, and maybe they're still at this, but like when they first came out and they were like, we promise they'll get cheaper, they were $100K. Yeah. I think this is, I'd guess this is more than that. I will be pleasantly surprised if this is affordable for Caitlin Clark's price. I'm going to say she cannot afford a Cybertruck.
It's under $100K.
Okay.
But she cannot afford it. Almost okay. $79,000.
Oh shit!
Basically
Super
$80,000. But yeah, close. It was a tricky one. I thought the 11,000 pound towing capacity would get you, but it did not. So congrats to you there.
They do have to, like, trucks are for poor people. We gotta lower it a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've seen a few of these in the wild. Not personally, like videos. Anthony Edwards pulled up to the playoff game of one of these things. They don't look good. I don't get it. I don't understand.
They don't look good. Yeah.
It looks like the metal sheet box that I made in high school when I was learning how to spot weld.
100%. It looks like if Kia Soul made a truck.
Pretty much is.
We can only do geometric shapes.
Yes. Let's round those edges a little bit.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Next one, we're on to number 6, and you are 3-2.
Okay.
I believe.
Yep.
Right? Yes. Okay. Here we go. Can Caitlin Clark afford to sponsor the goalposts and nets for a season for the Minnesota Myth? This is an AFL football team. These are the prices they contacted me about for sponsoring them. And if it gives you a nice little hint, I did not do it. So you get a full season. I believe that is 3, maybe 4 games of sponsoring the goalposts and sponsoring the nets. Could Caitlin Clark do this?
Now that's interesting because it could be pretty close. I could see them doing 20K a game, which would put it over. I could also see them doing 10K a game, which would put it under. That's the real wiggle room here. This feels like it's going to be close to me. But I think it's, I'm going to say it's just affordable. I'm going to say, yes, she could afford it.
I believe you were spot on with one of your guesses.
Fuck.
So yes, she can afford this. I believe it's I think it's $10,000 per game.
Oh,
it's
great.
$40,000. And I said, for a goalpost? And I was a little sassy, if you could believe it. I did not do it.
That's insane. Go to the game. Wear a t-shirt front row for less money.
There were so many packages and I'm like, this is stupid. Sponsoring the after party. How many people are going to be at the after party of an AFL football game? Can't be that many. I'm not going to pay $100,000 for that. Sorry. Stupid. Now I'm airing it out on the FlurrySports Podcast.
That's right. Take that, myth. Love the logo, by the way.
I agree.
We'll
love the
back a little
colors.
Bit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Bingo. Okay. This next one's a tough one.
Can I take a timeout? This is so off brand, but I think it's going to make you laugh.
Okay.
it's been a long time since we said this. Absolutely fuck you, Washington football team. Fuck you. It's so easy to make a team name.
Yeah, so easy. We're going to see it with the new Utah hockey team. They're going to nail it. I guarantee it. It's going to be great.
It's more proof those teams didn't want to pick a good one so that they could crawl back 10 years later where they felt like people didn't care. Makes me so mad because it's like all we did there, alliteration. I guarantee you, give me nouns that start with M.
Right. Yeah, there's other great nouns that start with M too.
By the way, you know how I know Washington could have done that? How do you think they came up with fucking Wizards?
Right. Yeah, and that's fine. I'm not saying it's great, but it's better than Commanders.
100%, and they should have been the Warlocks. We should have just kept it going.
That would have been great. That would have been really good.
Or Whirlpools. I like that.
I was a little worried about what your score would be at this point, Jake.
4-2. We're good.
Yeah, you have 4 wins, but I included this next one for you because I needed a layup.
Nice.
And everyone who's a fan of the show knows our backgrounds, knows you're just a farm boy. You notice how we showed cattle. So this next one, Jake. Oh, look at this beaut.
Oh, let's go. Okay.
We got a PB cemental heifer, born March 17th.
Semental, you yuppie.
Sorry, Semental. All I know is she's a beaut. That's a beautiful animal right there.
Wow.
Comments. Known as the bad girl around here. By the way, Jake, I Googled showing heifers for sale. And this one specifically says, we tried to show this one about 10 times. To be honest, she was tough to break and she would get frustrated and would kick her back out. And then I would see her and then she would try it again. So immediately this is a cow that I would be showing just to kick the shit out of me. That would be fun. She's one of the tamest though. She just wasn't meant for the ring. I shouldn't be selling this thing, but my house and barn are not finished. And when they say they tack on an extra 20%, they weren't kidding. So Jake, can she afford this? And if it helps you, I do have a video.
Oh, I'd love to see the video.
Okay, here we go. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, that's a blue ribbon, but again, cannot show. So potentially for breeding purposes here.
That's breeding.
But you know, Caitlin Clark gives me a little bit of horse girl vibes. I'm not gonna lie; she's definitely borderline.
Beautiful heifer. That's a shame they couldn't get it to show.
I know, beautiful, beautiful heifer located in Iowa. So you know, I made it nice and convenient for Caitlin. Can she afford this beautiful animal?
She walks a little frumpy. Her top line doesn't stand firm, but I would say
she needs a nice haircut courtesy of Pete Osmond, I think.
Yeah. I want to let the people know where my confidence level is here. It's not like over the moon. We didn't like if dad was selling, if dad was like, do you think this cow's going to get this much money? He's like, where was my fucking money? So my temptation is lower right away because like it's a crazy amount for any animal. I think if my bet is right, it's less, but I bet for a top line bull, you could get more because you'd get more breeding stock out of it. To your point, if they're just selling this cow for like breeding stock, I mean, you'll get something out of it, but you'll get one animal a year. And all that to say, I could be totally wrong, but my guess is it's a lot of money, but it's less. So I'm going to say she could afford it.
I was looking at some bulls for breeding ahead of time as well.
Yeah.
Those, you know, sold anywhere between 8 to 12K, I would say.
Okay, good. I didn't want to like be too cocky, be like it's way less, but
this one went for higher than I thought. She was definitely the outlier, especially considering you can't show her, but she did go for less. Caitlin Clark can afford her. Only $15,500. Yeah. What a deal.
Jesus, they must have a lot of stuff to do on that house.
Yeah, I would say so. I
Like
cow? How they undersold her, though.
That's
know.
Crazy.
Yeah.
One twisted ankle, and that's $15,000 of chopped beef.
Well, look at her. That's an easy animal to clean, too. So
the bad girl.
The bad girl.
That's an all-time line by you. It is an easy one to clean.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We got 2 left, Jake, and we're going back into the world of basketball.
So as long as I don't get both of these wrong, I'm good.
Correct. Yep. You got to get one of these 2.
Okay.
Here we go.
Oh, no.
The James Harden fine. Could she afford to pay James Harden's fine when he talked about how Daryl Morey's a liar, and he said, "Let me say it again. Daryl Morey's a liar. I will never play for the 76ers again." James Harden was fined, I believe, by the league for tampering with trades or something because of this video. Could she afford to pay James Harden's fine here?
So we are on the only one I feel like I've heard the number before. Okay. Because it was reported when it came out. My memory is that I was like, I feel like the noteworthy of this was everyone was like, that's ridiculously high. Like, why? Yeah. So my gut reaction is that his fine was about 80-some thousand. So I'm going to say she could not afford his fine, especially since he doubled down.
Jake, you're wrong about the number, but she cannot afford it. He was fined $100,000 for that.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah. So of her 4-year contract, almost a third of it would go to that.
That's not even like, I feel like there's got to be something in there of like, I know this is petty, but it's like he's lied before. Like, who hasn't? Right. Like, it's not like he's slandering him. That one hold up in court. That sucks.
Yeah, there has to be like a, returner fee or something. Like, we've been here, we know ya. Up it a little bit, up 10% or something.
I mean, he for sure paid more because he's been more of an ass lately.
I suppose. But I mean, Daryl Morey's an ass. Let's all forgive him. Let's forgive James Harden. How about that? Okay, Jake, you won. You got $10.
Yes.
Do you want to be risky and go for more money or no? Or are you just going for bragging rights with this?
We've doubled every time. I'm going for bragging rights this time. I need to get the lead here. Okay. So I'm going to stay calm, especially because I've been kind of shaky on a lot of these. And I feel like you could have gone wild on the last one.
Okay, so if you get it right, $20 for you. If you get it wrong, 10 for me. I'll just do 10. Okay?
What?
Well, if you win the game, if you lost the game, I would have got $10, Jake. We explain this every time.
No. Okay, correct. I just got confused because I was like, how do you still get money? I just said, no, I don't want to. But okay, now I'm with you. Okay.
Last one. Gainbridge Arena is where, or Gainbridge Fieldhouse, I believe, is where Caitlin Clark is going to be playing her home games for the Indiana Fever. Obviously, she can't afford to buy everybody, if it's a sold-out crowd, her jersey, Jake. That would be ridiculous. Like, who could afford that? On a WNBA player salary? Yeah, right. My question to you, can she afford 1/4 of the attendance jerseys? 1/4 of the fans?
Now let's take some educated guesses, people at home. I'm going to guess that stadium, I'm looking at a photo of it, can hold 8,000 people. So that would be, could she afford 2,000 jerseys? I'm going to guess, but jerseys might not be that much. Let's say the jerseys are $50. That would be no. I think, I feel like I could be under on how much the jerseys are and under on how much the stadium is. So I feel like I'm safe to say she can't afford it.
Jake, wildly off on both numbers you gave, but you're absolutely correct that she cannot afford it. A sold out crowd's 18,000.
Okay.
So about 4,500 people we're talking about.
Fuck.
Here.
I'm only looking at half of the stadium. Shit.
That is correct. So yeah, there's a behind the camera. But 4,500, her jerseys are $100. So even for 1/4 of the people, 450, she couldn't afford it in her entire contract.
No.
$450,000. Yeah, right.
Jerseys are so much. That was the one where I was like 50's low. Just made for easy math. Okay. Hey, not bad. 7-2 and 7 in a row.
True. Yeah, you went off at the end there. I'm proud of you. But I think the point of this is that Caitlin Clark can't afford much. She's not getting much money there.
No. And I mean, we're going to go to another game, but I think it's worth noting for folks, and you were kind of touching on this before the show. I will say, should she make more money? 100%. You can go into even more detail on it. For people alarmed at how much she makes, I would point out, I mean, some people are talking about, like, you know, who's not going to make as much money as most quarterbacks? Caleb Williams. Want to know why? He's a rookie.
Right. Of course. I mean, still millions.
I mean, millions. And I'm not saying like the women's price should come up, but I just think people were like, I would guess most people think she's now the highest paid player in the WNBA.
Right. Yeah. It's not close in a way. I mean, dollar amounts wise, it's pretty close, but in terms of percentage wise, it's not close. Correct. But Jake, I understand you're like, okay, rookie deal, like whatever. And you're in agreement with the WNBA commissioner, so congratulations.
That's not everyone should go up. Everyone should go up. But I've seen everyone be like, I can't believe most WNBA players make $30,000. And I was like, one, I could believe that. Two, they don't.
Yeah. No, right. But the WNBA commissioner actually said that the fact that Caitlin Clark's rookie deal is so low compared to everybody, that's a false narrative. She came out and said that it's a completely false narrative. Actually, if you look at where the NBA was at this point in their existence, because we're heading into our 28th year, completely different. It's not even close. We're so much further ahead. Jake, so the NBA had their first year in 1949, 1950. That means their 28th year was in 1977. I'm not adjusting for inflation because I'm going to give the commissioner the benefit of the doubt, right? She probably did her research.
Yeah.
1977, the highest paid player was Kareem, if you've heard of him.
Yeah, 77. As soon as you said that year, I'm like, this is going to be a wash. I didn't realize.
WNBA is so much further ahead. He made $650,000. Yeah. Again, we're talking about the highest paid player. So we got to compare that to the WNBA's highest paid player, which is $252,000. So a little lower. And, you know, fine. We'll just, maybe Kareem was an outlier. The dude's incredible, right?
Yeah.
Legend.
All timer.
A year before that, so the NBA's 27th year, the average salary was $130,000, which would be a star, absolute star in the WNBA. So no, the WNBA is not further ahead, especially when you consider all of their reliance on the NBA to help them with marketing and funding and all of that. So not a good argument, I would say. And I feel like no one's talking about her comments.
I also feel like what a joke of an answer from like the one commissioner who could afford to say like, we would love to pay people more if we made more money. Yeah.
And I believe in the same interview, or maybe it was the day later. I'm not sure. So maybe I'm mixing this up, but she talked about how the NBA will still pay for all of the charters for their players this year. So that's great. They're flying on a regular plane with other people, but they won't have to pay their own way to the games. That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. There's other stuff though, Jake. Like the WNBA is just not very, I don't know. They're not doing great, but it sounds like there's going to be another women's basketball league. So that's great news. There's, I believe this summer, or not this summer, but coming up very soon, they're starting a 3-on-3 women's basketball league.
Okay.
Which I'm sure is great news because there's only 6 players we actually care about. So there's at least 2 teams. That's fantastic news.
They'll be affiliated with the WNBA?
I don't think so. I don't think so, but there is going to be another women's basketball league because competition, you know, rising tide raises all boats, right? I'm sure that'll be great.
Well, and I'm sure it's the same. I haven't followed this in a while, but the whole thing, maybe they'll be allowed to because for a while the WNBA wasn't doing year-long contracts. Hence why Brittany Griner got detained in a foreign country.
I believe this is to help that. They're going to be playing on the off season, so hopefully they can do that instead of playing overseas. But again, that only helps the star players, and even still, no one's going to care about it. People don't care about the big 3, and there's way more star power in the big 3 than there's going to be in this.
Also, I know it's not apples to apples, but we also detain people for marijuana use. Not as bad. We don't use them as a prisoner of war, but we did stop that one lady from competing in the Olympics.
That is true. That is true. But the WNBA, up and to the right still, because Jake, by 2028, they're planning to expand to 16 teams. So 4 more teams. And that's going to solve all of their issues, according to the commissioner. But I don't really understand why that helps. Doesn't really make sense to me.
No.
But you know what? Do you know why there's such a big wage gap between NBA and WNBA, Jake?
Why is that?
Because WNBA sucks. It's not very good. It's not very interesting. 90% of the games suck. There's some great players. There's some great games. Try to find one. Tough to find one.
Coverage is bad. Teams are not balanced at all.
And this isn't like a hating on women's sports. It's because women's basketball isn't invested in at any level.
Correct.
Any level. Like, I think the youth programs are definitely much better now. And I think as you get higher and higher, there's less investment. Like, I think high school basketball, there's some investment there. I think college, obviously, we just saw the past 2 years, I guess, really. And then pros, I think there's no investment really whatsoever, especially by the owners here. I think more than anything, owners don't invest into their product whatsoever. And if you just invest into your product, you're going to get better results. That's just how it works. But like, it feels like, I'm not sexist, I own a WNBA team.
Yeah.
Like, to the point, there's a WNBA owner like 2 or 3 years ago who said I think he maybe was joking, but even still, not really. He's like, I thought about trying to give the team back to the WNBA because I'm making no money and it's a lost cause. It's just a sunk cost every year. Like, okay, invest into it. Do something.
Well, and they don't care. Most of them will admit to you they wanted it because A, it was a sports team they could afford, or B, most of them are trying to get their foot in the NBA door.
Yeah, it just makes no sense. They treat it like it's a charity. Like, they give the bare minimum and then it's like, okay, I have this thing. But like, you look at, like, Ice Cube offered Caitlin Clark $5 million to play 10 games. Like, clearly it's like, you just invest into your product. Like, you pay the players, you pay people to like attract people there, and you're just going to get a better result. That's all it is. That's all you have to do. But Jake, it still doesn't solve the question. Like, we're all outraged, right? I don't think anybody could like be like, okay, yeah, obviously women's basketball should get paid more, but if they're not making money, then why should we, they're getting paid relative to what they earn. And I think that's fair. To be completely honest, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
But go. I have a final.
My only thought there was going to be, I agree with you completely. I think it's very ownership and very league of like, yeah, I think they're gouging them. Like, I think right now this is getting a lot of attention of like, they can afford to pay them more. Any fucking sports league. Like, I have to hear that all the time. Anytime like the NFL or MLB like negotiates for prices, it's like, these millionaires want more money. How much do you think the league makes? Like, way more than what they give. So I think that's consistent. It's making me a little mad that like here at the lowest level, we're like, come on, treat them right. And it's like, okay, well, we've got multi-billion-dollar organizations in other sports, nickel and diamond guys, and holding rookies to smaller contracts when they're not worth. I think there's some valid points. I just think like we're maybe, and I don't know if this is right or not, but my big thing is like, I just like, it rings so hollow when I know you don't care about women's basketball. You care about Caitlin Clark, but I'm happy she's bringing a spotlight to it. But like these issues have been there. And if anything, my hope is that college basketball, women's college basketball, can retain enough spotlight that it drags the rest with it. Like, if women's basketball in colleges becomes a money-making thing, especially now with NIL, maybe some like second-tier D1 schools can focus on women's basketball. That could be like, I mean, look at the teams that were great this year. Take out UConn, and maybe that's why they're falling back a little bit, because there's men's programs so good. There's only so much money to go around. But it's like USC, Baylor, Iowa. Guess what sport they might end up spending the most money on? They can't win any of the other ones consistently. So it's like maybe women's basketball will be their one. I think that's great. But yeah, I think it's a little bit boy who cried wolf.
Yeah, I think the problem is with the owners and it trickles down. And you talked about how they're gouging the players. And I will say, Jake, that's the biggest thing here that I feel like people aren't talking about. So for like revenue split here, the NBA splits the revenue 50-50. The NFL is close to 50-50. Would you like to venture a guess what the WNBA revenue split is?
I mean, 70-30.
It's worse. It's 80-20.
Oh my God.
Like, so it's like we can't afford to pay him more. Really? Because like let's do 65-35. That's way different.
Well, every year, shouldn't we be getting closer? Shouldn't this be a like incremental shift? Like I that's the part that drives me nuts is, to your point, I feel like they're yelling at us saying, we'll care when you care. And it's like, no, we should care when you care. You're running it. Like they're like, we'll run it different when it's successful. And it's like, it's your business.
Right. So
no one's making you run it.
The commissioner's like dangling these false carrots in front of everybody. It's like, okay, first off, well, she starts it with saying that the wage gap, essentially, that Caitlin Clark's not getting paid enough is a false narrative, which is bullshit. It's not a false narrative. Whether she gets sponsorship money doesn't matter, because like the amount of money she brings into the league, she should get paid a little bit more. Whatever. Who cares? But then she talks about how there's these new media deals coming in. We're expanding the league. We're doing all of these things. All this new money is going to come in, and you got to get a ton of fucking money to make 20%. You know, they're only getting 20% of it. So like it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. So I did a little math here, Jake. Just to put it into a little bit of a picture, that for the people who are, by the way, I don't like Caitlin Clark that much. I think she's fine. This isn't like a Caitlin Clark stand coming out here. Trust me.
No.
Let's be very conservative and say the Fever sell 5,000 extra tickets per night this year compared to last year. Last year, they sold around 5,000. They were one of the worst in the league. The Las Vegas Aces actually set the new record by averaging around 10,000 per night. So let's just say they get to par with the Aces, which I think is conservative. They're going to do that. They're going to get 10,000 per night.
Yep.
And then you can already look at ticket prices. Again, last year they were under 50. They were like around $40 per ticket. Let's just say they go up $50, which again is far less than what I'm already seeing for mini games. So let's just say they get an extra 5,000 seats, an extra $50 per ticket. That means they're getting the owner is getting an extra $250,000 every night. So because of the split, they're getting an extra $200,000, right?
Correct.
Because of Caitlin Clark's contract, she's getting paid $2,000 per game. So we're talking about $200,000 versus $2,000. And it is Caitlin Clark bringing in those people, right? We don't need to pretend. Yeah. It's not like, oh, college women's basketball is so much better now. I mean, maybe it is a little bit, but not enough to bring in 5,000 new people. It's Caitlin Clark. So we're talking about 100 times more money going to the owners than to her. And you don't think that you think that's fine? Because I don't. Like, that's stupid. That's ridiculous.
No. And I like it because I think they will make the argument, well, we're a fledgling league. We need that money. I think you're a fledgling league, so you should treat your stars better. Like, I think, one, we should use that that math should appall people no matter what the sport is.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, Shohei Ohtani in Los Angeles when he played for the Angels, like, didn't make any more money, even though he turned them into the top 10 most valuable team in the league. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's crazy. Or it's like, for years when people were like, I mean, why would we pay college players? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's because Johnny Manziel made Texas A&M about $1 billion. Like,
in Tebow, yeah, you can go on and on.
100%. And it's like, especially for colleges and now like these fledgling things, I think it's even more important that it's like they get rewarded for that. You know, we're not even, to your point, it's like, we're not even talking 50-50. Like, I'm not even talking.
That's the worst part. And people are just like not even mentioning that. Like, how can it be 80-20? That's so fucking stupid.
Correct. And not wiggle at all when it's so obvious she's helping. If anything, they're like, thank God we're going to make a bank off of her because she's going to bring in so much money. And by the way, not that it's the most important piece, but goes back to just like any player in any sport, make so much money. Pray to God she doesn't get hurt in her first 5 years. I know she's set. She's good. This is rookie money. And she should be making more, but it's like, if she right now could get not rookie salary, she'd get $300K a year. She can't even make that.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. I don't get it.
I know.
I don't even.
Can I talk? Sorry, I had to segue. I'll save it. It.
Okay. I was just thinking like a comparison, and truly, I think the only close comparison to this Caitlin Clark thing is Messi. Like there's situations where it's like, it feels like big fish going into a small pond. And then I had to think about it. And I want to ask you this. Like, I think going from women's college basketball, where it has been the past few years, I think going from there to WNBA is a step down.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So could you imagine Messi taking a contract with the MLS without like ownership share and stuff like that?
No, I mean, it's how they got him.
Right. It's insane. Like, and if he did, he would have come here and done jack shit. He would have done nothing.
Yeah.
But the difference here is Caitlin Clark's getting exploited, which whatever. And she's welcoming it. She's like, exploit me so more women can play basketball, so I can inspire more people to play basketball, which is such a weird dynamic here. Like, she's welcoming the exploitation.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it makes me feel like I shouldn't be this mad. It's very weird. It's very weird.
I think you should be mad. I think Caitlin Clark knows that she has to exist in the system to move the system. I find her refreshing in the sense that, like, I think she's unabashedly and unshamefully taking every opportunity to make money she can. And I fucking love it. I know she was kidding, but it's like she appeared on the McAfee show and he's like, I guess we'll see you every week. And she's like, call me.
I don't know. I think she, by the way.
Looking at her, she's hard to read. She'd do it, dude. If she gets the right number, she's there every week.
Yeah, I think she's going to do it. McAfee pays his regular guests because he just feels like that's what you should do. I bet he pays her more than what she makes for her salary. Guaranteed.
Correct. For like a year? I mean, for sure, yeah. I would guess.
Even just for the season, for however long that is.
Correct. So when she said that, I'm like, I mean, that's genius. That's so good. So I love that she's soaking that stuff up. But yeah, I mean, she's still not getting paid enough. It's one of those things where it's like, again, I keep going back to baseball, but I think their contracts are just the most applicable, where they get like demonized for making money. And it's like, they're worth more. They're worth more. She's worth more. Like, yeah. I understand she's a millionaire because of her sponsorships. She is getting screwed. Now,
it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. No. If you want to argue women's basketball players get paid a low amount of money because of the amount of money they bring in, then she should be the exception because of how much money she brings in.
Correct. I also think the lowest hanging fruit of sports, like, because women's basketball doesn't have the same, to your point, like credit or panache as some of these other leagues that are better and have more market, but like they get dinged for like, well, how much money should basketball players make? I don't know, man. How much money do basketball players make? Like, that is the world we live in. Like, it is just the value of it. Like, I've never understood that argument with sports of like, why should I take less than what people are offering me?
Exactly.
Like, what I am worth. Like, it's like, she's worth millions. Like, why shouldn't she be paid that?
She should play big three. I know the WNBA is telling her not to. She should. Why shouldn't she take $5 million? That's the salary cap for like 3 teams in the WNBA. 3 teams full salary cap to play 10 games.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Hit me with a segue.
Can I talk to you about some other guys who aren't going to be paid as much as they should?
Let's do it.
There you go. So I don't know if you've heard this, Zach, but there's a bit from the past. There's a draft coming in.
Feeling drafty in here.
Feeling drafty in here. But Zach, I've got a game for you. And you proclaimed before the show, I'm not going to be good at this game, you said. But Zach, went back and I watched the tape, and you've fucking creamed me on these games. So I made it a little hard so far.
Okay. Yep.
For this game.
True. Great.
So Zach knows how this works. We talked about before the show, but for you at home, this is draft reaction, like chain reaction. I'm going to give Zach 2 fence posts of a guy taken in a draft in 1 year and a guy taken in a draft 4 years later or prior, vice versa. And so I'll just give you the first one as an example, and I'll talk through it a bit more. But for the first example, Zach, who is the first pick in the 2024 NFL draft?
Caleb Williams.
Correct. We can see the future. It's Caleb Williams. And the first pick in the 2020 NFL draft, Joe Burrow.
Okay.
So what Zach needs to do is in the years 2021, 2022, and 2023, he's going to give me 3 names. One should be from each year. Now, for points, Zach, you are going to get 1 point for each person you get right that represents a separate year. I will not make you hear, and we'll start this way, and if you're killing it, I might change it. But I think we're going to start where you can tell me like what your guess is for the year they played as you talk through it, because it probably just makes better content. But I will give you credit if they play anywhere in that 3-year span.
Just play, not be drafted that year?
Sorry, drafted. Okay. Yeah, 100%. They do not have to be the first overall pick. That's just the example I'm giving Zach, by the way. So they can be any pick, but they had to be drafted any of those 3 years. If, and this is important for how I'm going to give you your money today, I'm going to give you 3 rounds of this. If you get in a round, so it's like between Burrow and Williams, if you give me 3 names and boom, you give me someone from each of the 3 years, you get 5 points for that round. So I'm going to give you an extra 2.
Okay.
So between these 3 rounds, Zach, I need you to get, I think, 10 points.
Whew.
And my reasoning on the math is I think between the 3 of them, I want you to get one of them perfect. You can't do it without getting one perfect, but if you get one perfect, you can average it out with the other ones. If you get 2 perfect, you're guaranteed. So it's like you could wipe this. Because I know you said you're not going to be good, but I think this first one will be telling, and we'll figure it out from there. Besides, you do the lose one.
I mean, I think it's going to be today. I'm so bad with years, but we'll figure this out.
I'll be interested how the range goes. Plus, I hope you just have fun thinking of, I feel like this guy got drafted around this time. So, right. Zach, as we mentioned to start, 2024 is, of course, going to be Caleb Williams. 2020 was Joe Burrow. You can go in any order you want, but I need 3 names that you think respectively got drafted in 21, 22, and 23.
So, for Williams, are we saying just the first name is William?
Oh, Caleb Williams?
Yeah, his last name, like it ends with an S. Are we saying the first name of the next person is just regular William?
Oh, so sorry, Zach. You were sticking to the chain reaction thing.
Oh.
The only thing they have is that I'm just saying that the years connect, not the names themselves. You literally just have to name someone drafted in that year.
Gotcha. I was just like,
I really thought it was, oh my God, you couldn't do that at all. No, sorry. Yeah. No, you just have to name someone drafted in that year. Now you see why I feel like you can ace one of these categories.
Gotcha.
So we're going to feel out this first one. Now that you know what's happening, if you feel like it's too easy to just be able to like not be specific, we'll change it. But for this first one, I want you to take a shot at it. So
I think I should have to be specific. Yeah.
Okay. Here's what I'll do. I was thinking of this. You be specific, but I will give you credit if you get 3, but you mixed up the specifics, because you still then you would have flip-flopped 2 at that point. You either would have gotten it exactly right, or it's like, if you tell me if you would have flopped Burrow and Williams, for example, it's like, well, I mean, you got the 5, you just mixed up those 2. So that will be what I do. So go ahead and start me then with, let's work backwards. Why don't you give me someone who was drafted in 2023?
Okay, so I'll go 2023, CJ Stroud.
Correct. Some of these I'm going to have to look up. I don't have to look up that one. 2022?
2022, let's go with, who is 2022? This should be this hard.
Starting already. Here we go.
I know. I'm just trying to think who's 2 years and 3 years. That's so confusing. 2 years versus 3 years ago. Okay. I'm gonna go 3 years ago first. Okay. I don't know why, because it's easier.
2021. No, I think the middle numbers will be the hardest for you because of the fence post thing. Yeah.
Okay, 2021, I think, is Kyle Pitts.
That feels right. Draft pick Kyle Pitts is 2021. Congrats. Now I need a 2022. Okay. So you've got 2 points guaranteed here.
Okay. So 2022. I mean, I could just stick with Packers. I'm trying to think of somebody else in that draft. I have a 2022, but I'm trying to think of a different one.
I was going to say it gets harder from here because I'm going backwards in years. So
okay, fine. Quay Walker, 2022.
Okay, there you go. Boom. I was going to say this is one to take the layup because from here we're going back in time. So
okay.
So for folks at home keeping score, Zach went 1, 2, 3. I'm not even going to look. Quay Walker's correct. I'm not going to look it up. So, so that means, Zach, you got 5 points there. So between these next 2 rounds, you obviously have a possibility. You'll need to sweep another one to get it. But if you do that, you automatically win.
Correct. Okay.
So that's where we're at with the scoring there. So that said, Zach, your next year's, and I didn't want to go just right down the line. So your next set of draft reactions is 2017 first overall pick, Myles Garrett.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, some of these get fun. For example, the least helpful guy on the list, I think. 2013 first overall pick, Eric Fisher, offensive tackle who got drafted by Kansas City.
Yeah.
100%. So 2017 and 2013 were the years. So I need 2016, 2015, 2014. So again, 2017 was Myles Garrett.
Wow. Okay. 2017 Myles Garrett.
Yeah. And I will say out of the 3-year things, because of the names in this one, I think this is the hardest of the 3. So I think
it's a weird time span to think of.
Yeah.
Okay. So it would be 8 years ago for 2016.
Yeah.
Ooh. How old would that be? That would be like 30-ish years old. Okay, so it can't be him yet. I'm going to go 2014, or is that one of them? Right? That's the second lowest?
Correct. Yep. 2013 was Eric Fisher. So I need 2014.
Is 2014 Geno Smith?
Well, here's what I'm going to do. I decided this ahead of time. I didn't want to bring it up until it happened, just not to confuse you. When you guess, I'm going to tell you what year that guy was drafted. So that will give you an additional clue.
Okay, Geno.
Oh my God. 2013 was Geno. So
really?
not one
Fisher draft. What a class. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow. Okay.
So maybe that helps you more. So we're looking at the year after Geno Smith.
The year after Geno Smith.
Second round pick, Geno Smith.
No, he wasn't.
100%.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, 39th overall, second round by the New York Jets.
What? No way.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's not the point of the game. I don't think that in my mind that's not correct, so that's not correct.
Okay. Big Geno Smith fan.
He's a first rounder. He's like a top 10 pick. In my mind.
I'm thinking Mark Sanchez.
He's Mark Sanchez out there. No, he's not. Wide receiver. Let's go with Keenan Allen.
Ooh. So you told me ahead of time you wanted to give me the year. I feel like I'd be willing to retract that unless you want to tell me what year you think he was picked.
I will go with Keenan Allen 2015.
Keenan Allen 2013.
Great class. Great
class. Eric Fisher, really, I mean, what a year for him.
Yeah, no kidding.
I feel like I should give you a point if you give me 3 guys drafted in 2013.
Okay, let's go one more. Here we go. I think he's 2016. I'm going to go with Quentin Nelson.
Wow, you're gross for going with these guys. No quarterbacks in sight.
I don't know what quarterbacks are still around from that time.
True.
Now that they have to be current.
Okay, and you missed just on the other side with this one. Quentin Nelson was drafted in 2018 draft.
Wow. I forget how young he is. Okay.
Yep. So let's see. 2014 NFL draft first pick. My guess was going to be, oh, that's gross. Jadeveon Clowney.
Oh.
Which means the top quarterback taken was Mr. December himself, Blake Bortles.
I should lose the game automatically for not naming him. That's bad. That's bad.
2015, and I thought he was somewhere in here, Jameis Winston.
Oh, just saw him interview a fish the other day. Good for him.
That's right. And Jared Goff was the first overall pick in 2016.
Wow. I would have guessed 2018 for him.
So, okay. So, but Zach, here's the joy of the game, which I figured it kind of would. If you nail this next category, you win anyway. You'll get 10 points.
Right.
Yeah, and we'll see how this one goes. I have a possible opportunity for you to maybe double or nothing as needed or salvage some points with a fourth magical round. But let's get through this one first, okay? So again, skip some years, but the names are bigger already, okay?
Okay.
2010, first overall pick to the St. Louis Rams. What a throwback. Was Sam Bradford.
Sam Bradford. Okay.
2006, first overall pick, defensive end to Houston Texans was Mario Williams.
Okay. Wow, that's 18 years ago. 2006. I'm going to go.
So you need 2007, 2008, 2009.
2000. I have to name the year. 2007, Adrian Peterson.
I'm going to make a call. I have not looked at this yet. You were feeling really good in the first round. I'm going to say you say them for posterity, but I'm just going to have you tell me because it's crazy to call your shot like that. First pick. Oh, sorry. That's not what I should be looking up here. Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, there you go.
Draft. Okay. Hey, and you didn't need any help there. 2007 is Adrian Peterson. So you're one down. So you need 08 and 09.
Okay. 08.
And again, 10 was Sam Bradford.
10 was Sam Bradford. 2008, I'm in 8th grade. What was going on? I remember what was going on in 2008. Let's go. Ooh. Let's go Pat McAfee, 2008.
Oh, that's gross. I feel like that's a very famous
that might
quarterback draft, but we'll see. And tell you what, new rules, it sticks. He got drafted in 2009. We're going to count that.
Okay.
So, you are 2 for 2. I need a guy who was drafted in 08 now.
08.
So now you're a little thin. You need to tell me someone drafted in between Adrian Peterson and Pat McAfee.
Of course. We got the time frame nailed down.
2009 feels late for Pat, by the way. When you said it, I was a little afraid he was going to be another 07 guy.
He was a rookie in the Colts Super Bowl. So I was trying to think of when
which
that
is 2010.
Was.
Okay.
2009. I think that was the year it was the dual Madden cover. I think that was Larry Fitzgerald and James Harrison. Maybe I'm wrong.
You're giving me 08. That's what I need is 08.
Fuck. Okay. 08 was Vince Young. But he wasn't a rookie, obviously. So
it's crazy you can pull that, but that's true.
I mean, it's helping me put myself somewhere around there. What? I have to say this guy's name. Do I only have one guess left? I have to get him out of my brain.
Yeah, but why don't you say the name and then tell me if you're going to guess him?
I can't guess him. I got to get Lindale White out of my mind. Gotta get him out of there.
I'm gonna look that up just to be safe.
Yeah.
But
Please let me know when that was. That's not my guess for 08. It's around there, but I don't think that's it.
Never been.
You know what? I have to guess
White.
this guy.
2006. All right, I'll give that to you for free.
That's pretty close. Okay, going for style points. So you ready for this one?
Yeah.
Dexter McCluster.
Why won't you I don't know why this sticks out, so maybe I'm the gross one, but it's like 08 is I haven't looked this up. 08 is definitely Matt Ryan, Joe Flacco year.
Oh, it is. Okay. Whoops.
But you guessed
I would
Dexter McCluster.
I think he might have been a little earlier.
You just wanted to say his name.
Maybe he was undrafted, actually. If he's undrafted in this year, you got to give it.
He was drafted in the second round of the 2010 NFL draft. So you missed. So, Zach, you finish with 7 points.
Okay.
But I will give you, because you're at nothing. You didn't win there. But I will you want to do, I've got one more, and I'll tell you, I'll give you the 2 names and the years if you want to make an informed guess. But how about if you get it right, you get your 10. But if you get it wrong, I get 5.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Do you want to know your names first, or are you just doing it?
Nope. Don't need them. Don't even need to say them. I'll just guess.
One of them's helpful.
Okay.
One of them's
Say
not.
both, please.
2004.
Okay.
Manning's favorite boy, Eli.
Wow. Okay.
To the San Diego Chargers. The year 2000. What a time it was.
2000.
Defensive end to the Cleveland Browns, Courtney Brown.
Okay, great. Fantastic.
So I need 01, 02, and 03.
Let's go with 2003.
By the way, I'll give this one to you for free. Okay. Hey, Browns, great pick. You know who else got drafted in 2000? Tom Brady.
True.
6 rounds later. I hope Courtney Brown turned out for you. All right. So sorry, Zach, go ahead. I was just like, who else got drafted that year? Probably a lot of good players.
True. Let's go 2003, Julius Peppers.
Oh, that feels right.
It does, right? It's around
Julius Peppers was drafted in 2002. So you're in.
Ooh, okay.
So you've split the gap. So, and now 10 post. Who was in between Julius Peppers and Courtney Brown?
Boy.
Who was in between him and Eli?
What a interesting group. 2003 I need.
You need 2003 and 2001.
Was 2001 Michael Vick?
Oh, I think he might be 3, but I feel like you're all over that.
He's around there.
2001 Mike Vick.
Okay.
Nailed.
Okay.
So Zach, we are once again 1 pick away. If you can give me 2003, you win the game.
Boy. Okay. 2003. He wasn't a rookie this year, but I got Jake Delhomme on my mind, so I'm in that mindset.
I feel like I should be a friend and say, don't take Jake Delhomme.
I'm not. I'm saying he was good that year.
Yeah, I know, but he paid. Oh, okay, good. Okay. Because I was like, he played in the 90s.
Yes, I'm putting myself in
like
the time.
He played the Packers the year they went to the Super Bowl. Okay.
Boy, this might be too. When did he retire? Okay, is 2003.
I love that you're not even like who's 1 year older than Eli. You're just like reaching into a bag.
I should be doing that. I was about to name a 7th round pick, by the way. So
it's crazy.
Maybe I should be. I hate quarterbacks so much. Who is 1 year older than Eli? That's a great question. Is Ben Roethlisberger around there? He's younger. I think he's right around there though. Oh, is Carson Palmer a year older? That's a good guess. I'm gonna go with Donald Driver. Is he 2003?
By the way, Carson Palmer would not have been correct. All the quarterbacks you've said were drafted in 2003.
All of them? What a year. Great year.
Great year. Eli, Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger, and Carson Palmer, 2003. Your favorite quarterback when we were growing up was drafted in 2003 for sure. Donald Driver, that has to be late. I think.
Yeah. It's when did he retire? That's what I was thinking. Like he was.
I'm gonna give you a different guess. To think about it more, I feel like you panicked out of what you were doing.
Well, I don't. Quarterbacks.
I'll count it if you want. I'm not saying take a quarterback.
What year
Take a guy who drafted in 08 or retired in 08. Like, what are we doing? He was drafted in 99.
I don't remember what year I'm thinking about.
2003, Zach. Wait.
Oh, so.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Was I correct with Carson Palmer?
Carson Palmer was right.
I don't know what we do. I don't.
You didn't guess him.
I didn't guess him. You're right. I just said his name. So Carson Palmer's not Eli. That's a different year.
No, that's a different year. Those were all 2004. Phillip Rivers was also 2004.
2004. Okay, and then
Mike Vick was.
Mike Vick was a 1. Right.
Oh yeah. It counted that one. Okay. I was like, did I really fuck this up?
So 2000.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you 2 ways to win. You can give me a different 2003 name, or you can guess what Carson Palmer's record was his rookie year.
I mean, I might be closer with that. Oh no, we'll go with another name. Round Carson Palmer 2003. I should be thinking about quarterbacks, and I'm just not. I can't bring my mind to go there.
When you did one and I shot you down, so
I know it was correct. Fuck.
He was the same age as Carson Palmer. I don't know.
That's what I'm wondering. Him and Ocho weren't drafted in the same year, were they?
Oh shit.
There's no way. I don't think so. It might have been back to back. Okay. I have to guess this guy. I'm sorry. I can't get him out of my brain. That's how it works. Jeremy Shockey.
That is so close to that, right? Like I'm not there yet.
There. Yeah. Love Jeremy Shockey.
Because he's part of the U. Oh, fuck me, Zach. That's the 2002 NFL draft. So you are off by a year. Just for fun, what do you think Carson Palmer's record was his rookie season?
I'll go with 2-14.
8-8. They kind of came out the gate firing. Yeah, there you go. Those Bengals were good, back when Marvin Lewis wasn't outdated.
All they did is go 8-8. I should have known.
That's true. So Zach, you finished with a great record, but you couldn't quite put it all together, and that's all right. I mean, most befuddled as we all were by the span between Eric Fisher and Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Honestly, Myles Garrett being in 2017 feels like you're in the middle of the ocean. Like, it's like, what am I doing? Like, who's around that? Like, that's crazy.
Right. So if I am correct, I believe I am currently now down $15. Is that correct?
Yeah, because I made 10 and then 5. Yep. Good night at the office for me.
Okay. Yeah. You cleaned up. But all buttoned up. You came for business. It was a business trip today, folks.
Right. Okay. Actually, all these players played in 2003, Zach.
What a fun episode.
You threw out Lindale White.
And it was close. I just couldn't get him out of my head because I was thinking about Vince Young, that I had Titans on the brain. I'm like, I gotta say his name. Have to do it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Let me just look up for fun. What was the 2003 draft like? order. I'm trying to think of, because I was having a hard time with it. I'm like, who is he obviously missing? So Palmer's number 1 overall.
Mm-hmm.
So you were kind of all over that. Oofta. Some duds in this one, dude.
Was it
Byron Leftwich?
Oh,
but
yeah,
the biggest name early besides Palmer is Andre Johnson.
Okay.
Terrell Suggs. Maybe like I could have guessed that was that air. Oh, maybe if I'd thought of this team, Palomalu.
Oh,
that feels right.
I feel like I would have thought of him earlier.
Yeah. How do you feel about Willis McGahee?
Ooh, I do love Willis McGahee on a lot of fantasy teams.
Well, you were smart. I feel like you found a good strategy right at the very end, which is Jeremy Shockey's not bad because it's like the U were good.
Yeah. Yeah. And boy, he would hit people. Get the ball in his hands. He's going to get yards after contact.
I love him, not as much as I liked Heath Miller.
Heath Miller. How is he always open? Guard Heath. He can't move.
Guard Heath. And how did Owen Daniels average 2 touchdowns a game?
Yeah, he had
a job throwing to him.
Yeah, and Gary Kubiak as his coach.
That's right. And the other car.
Yeah. The one who looks better now than he did back then.
So true. Well, Zach, do you have anything for the people to close the show? Anything fun? Anything fresh?
Listen to the ranking show this
week.
I'm not on it. They're ranking Mario Kart tracks. I haven't listened to it yet. I can only assume it's a banger. I spoiler alert. Well, not spoiler alert. I haven't played Mario Kart since I've only played Mario Kart 64.
I'm going to say something controversial here.
Okay.
I think Mario Kart's way overrated.
Probably.
I think
it's okay.
It is appealing as a group game. I think Mario Party is more fun. If you're going to play like a Mario game, I'd play Mario Party. And honestly, if you're not willing to try Smash Bros, eat me.
I think
everyone can play Kirby.
True. That's another one I haven't played since 64. I haven't played any of the new ones.
Oh, really? You weren't a GameCube kid, huh?
I had one, but I never really played it. Like I got it from a pawn shop. Like I just played a couple weird games.
That is how you rolled. Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't really play Wii and Wii U stuff really. So
got it. That's fair. And
I've got
the Switch one now. I mean, the Switch one's great. It's one of those where it's like, why would you get Smash Bros unless you're gonna have like groups of people play it? Probably, but I mean,
sure.
Yeah, that'd be my hot take. Is like if I'm gonna go for a group game in Nintendo, I don't know if I reach for Mario Kart.
I think that's fair. You know what I would reach for, and that's the new game I got, WWE 2K24.
Sponsored.
Kind of a banger. Kind of a banger.
I've heard nothing but great things. Are you into have you made a guy? Are you doing story mode? Are you doing GM mode?
I'm doing, there's one mode where you're working your way through the different WrestleMania years, like big matches, and you unlock characters and stuff. I've been doing that a lot.
Yeah.
And then I started a story mode with Otis.
As you should.
Correct. And we are mostly tag teams so far. I'd like to go solo, but we got to win the championship first. The controls are complicated, and I refuse to do the tutorial, so we're learning as we go.
Yeah. I'll throw this out here. I was going to talk to you about after the show, but this week, draft week, draft fever, as WWE put it. So it's draft week at WWE. I think I'm going to do an article fantasy booking someone who gets drafted to each of the 3 shows. And I'm
NXT's in it?
Yes, NXT will get people like called up mostly, but a couple people will go down.
Okay.
But I'm hoping Otis moves. Because we were robbed of an Otis World Champion. He was Mr. Money in the Bank.
Get that. He's been pretty quiet lately, right? He hasn't really done much.
No, well, they turned Chad heel. And so Chad's been focused. So that's been the thing. So what I hope happens is my hope for an article is that Otis goes to NXT.
That would work. He could be solo. Let him work.
And let him be weird, dude. I want him to be Macho Man. Like, I just want him to talk like Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yeah. I do like in the game, it's like from Superior, Wisconsin. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. We made it. You made it, Otis, you son of a bitch.
And people will cheer for him. At this point, I'm like, put him in a tag team again. Like, what are we? I feel like they're wasting, like, I don't feel like we ever got his huge babyface moment.
Are the Vikings popular or no? I don't know their names, but
well, one of them's hurt, so the one who's around is incredibly popular right now. Ivar, who's the big one.
Okay, perfect. What they should do is have him try out to be a Viking and try to like work his way in there.
That's very funny, but that is very good. So I'm excited for that. But Otis is a good play, dude. When I always played through, I loved playing through as like guys like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
the Hurricanes in the game, I got to unlock the son of a bitch.
There we go. That might be my next purchase. I'm finishing up Spider-Man now. I was going to say, this is a funny thing to end the show on. And she might listen to this, she might not. But Claire, I was so happy, but she came home this week and she had a wonderful friends trip. I spent so much time this weekend playing video games. I probably put 5 hours into Spider-Man 2. I already put some in. So I was 5 minutes away from finishing the game.
Oh, yeah.
She came back. And she was like, I missed you
get
so
something from the
much.
car, honey?
And I was like, hey. And I was like, do I keep it on? And then her friend came in and she's like, Jake. And I was like, fuck. Turn it off.
Like trying to be polite, just seething inside.
I was in the last boss fight.
Ah, that sucks. And you still haven't finished it.
Too far to pick it up. Like, I'm like, I don't know if I want to finish it. It's not true. I will, but
you're like, never finishing this game. There's going to be something that comes up every time.
But it's like a wild feeling of like, I'm in, like I just did all the things. And now I'm like, I got to log back in and do that fucking fight, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now it's work. It's no longer fun. Now it's a job. Got to punch in and do your
whoa,
work.
Here it comes. But yeah, it did. She came in and I was like, I am not in the right headspace. Like, I was like, okay. Like, I feel like I was giving off the vibe of, they were like, why aren't you more excited? I'm like, okay, I'll get over it.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to get out of Spidey mode. Got to get
100%. And think, oh my gosh, if it had been like Kingdom Hearts or like some game where the boss fights are like crazy.
Yeah, the fucking circus music going.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I'm one stage away from beating Sephiroth. Take a lap.
Yeah, don't bother me.
I've been here for an hour.
Goofy's dead and I'm freaking the fuck out.
Why did I pick Donald? Why did I pick Donald?
So let's get rowdy, let's get loud. Tune in now, join the crowd, join the crowd. The FlurrySports Podcast here to stay. Talking sports in a unique way. Hey, hey. Bury the lead, they'll keep you on your toes.